tame Wichita, there were 2 points of controversy which historians of the western frontier have argued since 1875. Was Marshal Earp justified in using the famous City Ordinance number 27 to close crooked gambling joints and rowdy dance halls? And why did he permit Ben Thompson, a notorious gunfighter and killer, to operate a gambling game in Wichita while Marshal Earp's stormy cleanup campaign was raging to a murderous pitch of tensions and hatreds?
Come on, bring him out of there. Go on, there's plenty of bars up the street. You guys go that way and get on down.
Is that all of them? That's the last one of them, Mr.
Unsanitary, you call it. I washed my glasses as clean as any place in this town. You're just using that public health ordinance as a trick, and you're not going to get away with it.
Come on, keep on.
That's a great idea, Wyatt. You're going to have all of Douglas Avenue hating you.
That's Judge Jewett's idea. See, when the saloon owners get too slick for me to prove crooked gambling, why, he's ordered me to proceed under Ordinance 27. Be a lot quicker.
Can you use it against dance halls?
Yeah, got to close one up the street.
The Dreamland joint?
Uh-huh. They've been importing immigrant girls and paying them almost no wages. Oh, but don't print that in your newspaper. They're kind of scared to testify.
I understand. The Orient Saloon and the Dreamland Dance Hall were closed today as unsanitary by Marshal Earp. I was ordered to take this action by Dr. Andrew Fabrique, City Health Officer.
Howdy, Marshal.
Oh, hi, Mr. Finley.
I wasn't sure you'd remember me.
Well, I've looked at you over a gun sight once or twice. Mr. Murdoch, this is Jack Finley, friend of Ben Thompson.
Oh, yes. Ben Thompson?
How is Ben these days?
He's fine, thanks. Oh, Marshal, I know you and Ben had several run-ins over at Ellsworth, but he don't bear you no grudge. And if you...
Why should he?
Well, what I wanted to ask you is, how do you feel about Ben? You saw it, Ben?
No.
Well, will it be all right if he comes into Wichita?
Sure. As long as he stays out of trouble.
I mean, what Ben wants to know is he wants to buy into a game here.
That's no business of mine as long as he runs it honest.
Oh, Ben knows that, and he'll run straight as a strip. Is it all right if I tell him you said? Thank you, Mr. Earp. Thank you very much. I'll tell Ben. Oh, he'll sure be mighty pleased.
On the eve of a cleanup campaign that's going to cause you a lot of trouble, you say Ben Thompson can come into town?
Ben and I have settled our differences.
But he's a dangerous gunslinger, a killer, and...
Also a pretty honest man.
Oh, come now, Wyatt.
Well, he's always kept his word to me. I never did hear of him cheating at cards.
But you had a gunfight with Thompson. You sent his brother Bill to prison for killing Sheriff Whitney.
Now, look, Mr. Murdoch, a man in my line of business, well, he's got to let his old quarrels die. To be strictly honest about it, I always did like Ben Thompson.
That's good, Johnny, good. Get down around them cracks there and into them little crevices. Here, put some carbolic acid in that scrub water. And these glasses, I want them all dipped in scalding water. This place is going to be sanitary. Dave.
Yes, sir.
Where's the roulette wheel?
Well, it was set crooked. Dunphy's fixing it honest.
Good. No wonder Wyatt closed this dump. Well, didn't Jack tell you?
No.
Earp and I are friends.
But he's John Law in this town.
I love Wyatt almost as much as I love my brother Bill.
Yes, sir.
So spread the word. I'll have no talk against Wyatt from the men who work for me or the customers. And another thing, I thought I told you to tell these men how I stood with Wyatt. Dave didn't know.
I'm sorry, Ben, but you told me to check on all the opposition. In the rush, I might have missed a few.
All right. What'd you find out?
Plenty.
Now, you men keep busy. I want this place spick and span.
And I never listened to such mean talk. Wyatt's going to have a small war on his hands. Ain't nobody likes that ordinance number 27. Anyway, who can run a clean place in a town like Wichita that's all dusty and muddy? It just don't make sense.
does to me. I told Wyatt he couldn't make that gun-checking law stick up in Ellsworth. But I was wrong. And if he says this town's going to be sanitary, he'll make it stick.
Well, anyway, all the opposition say that Ordinance 27 is just an excuse to give Wyatt the power of let run or close up.
You against Wyatt?
Me? Oh, now, Ben, you...
I'm going to tell you a thing or two. Now, Wyatt could have killed me in a fair draw and a fair fight, but he didn't. He could have had my brother Bill hanged, but he didn't. Now, Bill's up in the hospital in Denver. Got a chance to get well.
Well, you should have told us about that before, Ben.
I don't spill things until it's necessary. But when I'm loyal to a man, I go all the way.
Sure, Ben, sure.
Now then, just where do they talk the meanest about my friend Wyatt?
The Hotel Wichita Bar?
You got about an hour to get the men ready.
Oh, Ben, trouble our first night in town.
When I'm loyal to a man, I go all the way. Now, I told you that. So get going.
Ben and Wyatt are friends, and I'm a friend of Wyatt, so I can see Wyatt anytime I like.
But lady, you
Oh,
can't...
lady, I hate that word. Oh, are you Wyatt, the best friend of Ben Thompson?
Well, I know him, yeah.
Like Ramon and Romulus. Oh, it is beautiful.
What's your name?
I'm Lolita Ryan.
More Lolita than Ryan, huh? Well, what can I do for you?
Oh, I think I'm going to have to hurt Ben's other girl. You are his dearest friend. You chase her out of town for me, please.
Well, you just better sit down. Now, let's get one thing straight. In the first place, I'm not Ben's dearest friend. In the second place, I let him reopen the Orient Saloon because he promised there wouldn't be any trouble and that he'd run an honest game. Another thing, I can't mess into Ben's private affairs, so if he's running around with another girl, you're just going to have to settle it with him.
You will not chase her out of town?
Nope.
Oh, but he doesn't like her very much. He only took up with her because he thought I was with my mom in San Antonio.
Well, you just go tell that to Ben.
Oh, but I did. And he said not to hurt this girl. He say you wouldn't like it. What am I to do? She's no good. She's one of the biggest...
Wyatt, Ben Thompson and his boys are headed for the Wichita Hotel Bar with guns.
Go get Sam.
All right.
Miss Ryan, you control your temper.
Oh, but...
And you stay here, understand?
See...
And so, any time that you don't keep the joint clean enough to suit that big head, he can close you?
Why, that's against the Supreme Court. Earp's got too big for his britches this time. He needs cutting down to size. Every man that is a man in Wichita ought to start...
Hold it, Morrison.
Howdy, Ben. I was just telling the boys...
I heard what you said. Does he speak for the rest of you, cowhands?
I sure do. How about you, Ben? You with us?
No. Now, any man that speaks against Wyatt Earp speaks against me. And I'm closing this place. It ain't sanitary. So everybody out. Come on. Oh. They was cooking up some devilment, so I'm closing the place. It ain't sanitary.
Look, Ben, when there's any closing to do, I'll do it. Now, you and Finley and the rest of the boys know you're not supposed to be wearing guns.
We under arrest? All right, what? Anything you say.
The rest of you go on back to your drinking.
Hold it. I'm gonna wait for the marshal. Okay, let's go. Come on.
Wyatt. Now, I don't aim to criticize, but I think you're being a mite overconfident about this sanitary business. There's trouble cooking.
Yeah, well, you better take care of your own trouble.
What do you mean?
A girl by the name of Lolita Ryan came to see me.
Lolita. She shouldn't come around bothering you.
Yeah, well, she did. She threatened one of your other girls.
Carolyn or Millie?
She didn't say. You better calm her down.
All right. I sure will, Wyatt.
And another thing, you and I are friendly. All right, that's fine, but Well, we can't act too friendly. People might misunderstand it.
I know. You're the law, and I'm Ben Thompson.
We'll keep it that way.
But Wyatt, I didn't shoot nobody back there or take that saloon apart. All I did was try to be real nice. And another thing, about that judge in the morning. Don't you worry none. If it's going to embarrass you, I'll just say you and me don't even speak.
Just don't say anything.
All right? Pay the fines for me and the boys, and I won't even look at you. $80, $90, $100. There you are, Judge, $100.
There's something about this matter that bothers me, Mr. Thompson. I have a note here from the owner of the hotel, Wichita. He says the trouble started because you resented certain remarks against Marshal Earp.
No, he's mistaken, Judge.
Well, how did the trouble start?
Well, there were these two cowhands, and they was telling it around that my place ain't sanitary. So I said to Jack here, I says, we better put a stop to that false slander. And isn't that right, Jack?
Yes, sir, that's right.
That sounds plausible. I couldn't believe that a man like you would risk a fine to defend Marshal Earp.
We ain't friendly. But I will say this, Your Honor. I don't believe that Marshal Earp should be walking around this town without his deputies the way he does. There's a young foolhead of a cowhand out gunning for him right now.
I can take care of myself.
All right, Wyatt. You're the boss. Good morning, Judge.
Just a minute, Marshal Earp.
Yes, sir?
Is Thompson right about some cowhand gunning for you?
Well, there usually is a cowhand who thinks he wants to gun me, Your Honor.
Yeah. Maybe you should have at least one deputy with you at all times.
I can't spare him. Spread too thin as it is. You just let Ben Thompson worry about me.
Start where you gun. Go ahead, start, why don't you? Maybe you think I won't shoot, but I will. You closed my brother's place. You put him out of business. And now I'm going to...
I'm shot! I'm shot! Oh, shut up, kid. You ain't hurt bad. Maybe next time you'll believe me.
Wasn't gonna shoot Ben. Was talking too much. Doc Fabric's office is just across the street. Go on over.
I'm bleeding! I'm bleeding!
Get out.
Am I arrested again?
Ben, you're not supposed to pack a gun on the streets.
That kid, he was going to plug you.
Ben saved your life, Marshal.
Look, Doc Fabric is gonna report a gunshot wound. I couldn't let you go if I wanted to.
Oh, but Marshal...
Shut up, Jack. All right. Let's go see the judge. Where you going? You weren't wearing no gun.
And on your way over, give this to Mayor Hope.
Yes, sir.
Well, what is it this time?
A drunken kid tried to gun me, Your Honor, and he shot him in the arm.
Thompson warned you. What's the charge?
Carrying guns in violation of a city ordinance and careless discharge of firearms.
What have you to say to this, Mr. Thompson?
Well, I reckon Marshal Earp was doing his duty.
Well, I don't. The man saves your life, and you arrest him for misdemeanor. Did you ever hear of gratitude, Marshal Earp?
Now, don't scold him, Judge.
I asked Marshal Earp a question.
Well, sir, I recommend that Ben Thompson be let off this time with a reprimand.
A reprimand? If you haven't the decency to thank Mr. Thompson, I will. This court expresses its gratitude for assistance rendered Marshal Earp and dismisses his asinine charges against you. You and Thompson aren't friendly. Yet he saves your life at the risk of his own. greater love hath no man than that. You'd better learn some common humanity, young fella.
Yes.
Sure am sorry, Wyatt.
You played the hand the way you saw it. Oh, what have you done about this girl, Lolita?
Lolita. You know, I plumb forgot about her when I heard that young Jim North was...
Well, that's all over now. You just take care of that girl.
Yes, sir. Right away, Wyatt. Believe me.
I'm going over to the hotel, and I want you to send word over to me there that she promised to behave.
I'll marry her. Anything.
Good. Wait a minute. You can't marry her. You're already married.
Lolita don't know that.
But that's bigamy.
Don't get sore.
Well, I'm not sore. It's just that I want you to stop making trouble around here. That's all. Another thing, don't go around saying that you love me like a brother. If you're going to say anything, say that you hate me.
Okay, Wyatt.
What's the matter? Not so loud.
She's after me. Shut the door.
Who's that? Come here.
Oh, she's really stop me. Oh.
Where'd you get
Here, it's bleeding. I can feel it.
Let's get the doctor for Big's office. And you stay here. You're under arrest.
I told you I'd get her. Let me go, you. Let me go.
Come on.
Ben's best friend. You take sides with that Millie Spencer. Fine friend you are.
Marshal Earp, what's all this?
Felonious assault, Your Honor. This is Lolita Ryan. She cut a girl with a knife.
Oh, next time I'll really cut her.
That'll do, young woman. Other girl badly hurt?
Not too bad, sir. According to Dr. Fabrique, it's just a cut in the rib.
And where did this affray take place?
In Wyatt's room at the hotel, Judge.
Really?
She's
Oh, now, wait a
nothing but
minute.
a dyed-haired, blind crybaby. She ran into Wyatt's room to make trouble with Ben and me.
Ben? Not Ben Thompson.
Yes, sir. I told Wyatt last night he must make Ben get rid of this girl. But does he help? Oh, no. Ben must be loco. He picks a John Law for best friend.
Marshal Earp,
Yes, sir?
I was never under the impression that you and Thompson were friendly.
Well, we're fairly good
He
friends.
pretends to be Ramon and Romulus with Ben. He lets him come into Wichita and open up the Orient Saloon. But does he help him get rid of Millie? Or no? Look at me, Judge. If you were Ben's true friend, would you let Millie make trouble?
I haven't seen Millie.
Well, she's one of...
Silence. Well, I guess we'll have to lock her up. Deputy,
Lock me up? For how long?
until tonight, we have no place for female prisoners to sleep.
Okay. You're a nice man. You tell Ben Thompson to get rid of that Millie. And as for you...
That'll do. Put her in the old courtroom and ask Mrs. McGee to keep an eye on her.
Yes, sir.
You take Millie. You can have her.
Come on.
I can make a fair guess as to what happened. You gave Thompson a break, and he kind of latched on to you.
Yes, sir.
Well, it can't go on, Wyatt.
I know it.
I'd explain matters in a nice way and suggest that he leave town.
Yeah, I guess that's the way it's going to have to be.
You don't seem too happy about it.
I just can't order him out of town, Judge. I mean, he's clean as far as the law is concerned.
But with his great devotion to you, he'll go as a personal favor, won't he?
Yeah, I reckon he will. I guess Ramon will just have to part with Romulus.
Wyatt's outside. Says he's got to talk to you.
Did he look sore?
He didn't look too happy.
That Lolita. She ought to be pistol whipped.
What am I going to tell Wyatt?
Well, tell him I'm here. I don't hide from my friends.
Oh, look, Ben. Lie to him just once. Tell him you ordered Millie and Lolita to get out of town. This is the best gambling spot we ever had.
I don't lie to my friends either. Now you get out there and tell him I'm here. Door is open.
I suppose you heard what Lolita did to Millie, huh?
You got a right to be sore, Wyatt. Real sore.
Being sore ain't the point. The point is it's liable to keep on happening.
You want me to leave?
It'd be a big favor.
You just think it would.
I know it would.
Sit down. Wyatt, tomorrow's Sunday.
There's no rush.
That ain't what I mean. You plan to go to church in the morning or in the evening?
I don't know. Why?
You aim to go at all?
Yeah.
Where are your guns?
I don't wear my guns to church.
Well, wear them tomorrow and watch behind every bush and tree. Look, Wyatt, I'm leveling with you. That dance hall crowd has brought in 2 men to bushwhack you.
Oh, that's just talk, Ben.
No, it ain't just talk. Now, that's what you said when I told you about that North kid gunning for you, too. And I saved your skin that time, but you're too big-headed to admit it. You're big-headed and you're stubborn. And you got some fool idea that you can handle everything all by yourself.
I've done all right so far.
So far. And you're good with a gun, sure, but you can't take on all of Douglas Avenue all by yourself. And these men tomorrow, they ain't gonna give you a chance for a stand-up gunfight. They're gonna cut you down as you walk on your way to church. Now, can't you get that through your thick skull?
Would you mind leaving on Monday?
All right. All right. I'll leave Monday, and you go right ahead and get your inside shot out, and I won't give a hoot. I won't even send no flowers.
Well, now you begin to sound like the old Ben Thompson I used to know.
I ain't your friend, and I never was.
Good. So long, Ben.
Goodbye. And have a nice long sleep on Boot Hill.
You and him have a row?
Yeah.
Say, that's great. He tried to order us out of town?
That chance he's got of making it stick, he'll be dead tomorrow. And I can stop it, too. But I won't. I'm not even going to lift my little finger. Let him die. Hold on.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Murdoch. I see you've been working late again, huh?
I just heard a wild sort of a rumor, but it worried me.
The bushwhacker talk, huh?
Yeah. An ambush somewhere on this side of town.
Near church.
But if you knew about it, where are your guns?
Mr. Murdoch, I thank you for the warning, but well, if I was going to look for a hole every time some drunken cowhand said he was going to bushwhack me, I'd have to crawl underground like a prairie dog.
Yes, but look,
now, you go on home and get shaved. I'll see you at church.
Listen,
I'll
White.
see you later.
What if he wears his guns?
It won't do him any good if he does wear them.
Get set. Here he comes.
Quiet, get down! Get up!
So long, Wyatt. You seen your pal?
Thanks, Ben.
For many months, Wyatt Earp, as Marshal of Wichita, Kansas, had managed to stay clear of feminine entanglement. This took some doing, since numerous young women set their caps for the handsome Mr. Earp. But Miss Mamie Perkins, a church organist, had that mysterious charm which appealed mightily to Marshal Earp, and almost succeeded in proving the frontier adage which stated, "For most men, women are slow, but to a peace officer, they can be quick death."
And stay inside the city limits. Don't cross the city limits, boys. I don't aim having any trouble with Earp. All right, Kennerly, come on out and face the music.
Go on back to camp. I don't want to have to shoot any more of you.
Let's get him now, Fogg. No, wait a minute. You can't hide in Wichita forever, George. And when you do come out, we'll be watching every road.
I ain't riding with the Fogg McMurray crowd no more. If you want to go on living, Fogg, you and the boys better hit the trail. Now get going.
We got him holed up. When he does come out, we'll kill him. And that'll keep Earp and his deputies from getting after us. Let's get back to camp. Come on.
Church this morning.
I had a little trouble down at Denver Jones's.
Oh, I was wondering about the guns. Was anybody hurt?
No.
Now just look, I walked all the way downtown with you.
Exercise is good for you, Miss Mamie.
No, but I should be home helping Mama fix Sunday dinner.
Now, how come you spent so much time on me? Is there something you need my help to handle? A favor you want to ask me?
Certainly not. How can you think so cynically of me?
Miss Mamie, I am a little bit in love with you.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. If something's worrying you, why don't you tell me? Maybe I can help you.
You're sweet. And I'm just a wretched little fraud.
Miss Mamie.
No. Just try and forgive me.
Wyatt, can I talk to you a minute?
Huh?
Can I talk to you a minute?
Yeah. Well, what's up?
I've been worried about you.
Oh, please, no brotherly lectures, huh?
Can't we just call it brotherly advice?
Sit down.
I've lived in Wichita a long time. I know Mamie Perkins and her folks.
Look, it's not that serious.
Yes, it is. I wish you'd stop seeing her, Wyatt.
Why?
I can't tell you. It wouldn't be fair to Mamie. Perhaps what happened a couple of years ago is over and done with.
What are you trying to tell me?
It's nothing disgraceful. She's a real fine girl. It's just that, well, if you've made up your mind to marry her and she's willing, no problem. You have my blessings. Is that the way it's going to turn out?
Mamie's not in love with me.
And I'm right.
There's another man. Is that what you're trying to say? Well, come on, tell me.
I'm Marsh Murdoch, a newspaper man, remember?
Now, what's that got to do with the price of apples?
Well, I'm something like a lawyer, a doctor. I'm told things in confidence that I can't repeat. Not even to my best friend.
Oh.
All I ask is that you stop seeing Mamie. I think it's good advice.
Well, I think it's good advice, too. But I can't take it.
You mean you still hope that she might change her mind?
No. But I'm still fond of Mamie, and she's in some kind of trouble. And seeing as you won't tell me what it is, I'm going to keep on trying to persuade her to tell me.
That's plain blind stubbornness.
You're right.
Where's your pride? The whole town's whispering about you and Mamie.
Well, tell them not to whisper. They should speak up.
No, now look, Wyatt, you could marry a half a dozen girls just as pretty. Several of them are ready to fall in love with you for keeps.
Really think so?
Sure.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, right now, I'm interested in Mamie.
All right, be stubborn. You're the one who'll get hurt. You ought to have that thick skull cracked open. Your brain needs air or something.
Howdy, Uncle Tad.
Why, George, bless my soul.
You old rascal, you don't look a day older.
Quit blarney me. Where you been keeping yourself, George?
Oh, I've been batting around. Say, fix me up with a room, huh? Boy, I'm thirsty. I'm hitting for the bar.
Wait a second, son. You gotta check your guns on the rack yonder. Marshal Earp is very strict.
I heard about him. He's been trying to cut me out with Mamie Perkins, ain't he? Well, No, now, it's no secret, Uncle Tad. Man told me up at Fog McMurray's cattle camp about a week ago. I figured it was time I was getting back to Wichita.
Fog McMurray, you ain't been riding with him.
Oh, now, shh. Had a little argument with Fog about me quitting his outfit. So I had to slap him around a little. I'm really dry, Uncle Tad. See you later.
Hold on, Cowhand.
Huh? Who are you?
It's Marshal Earp, George.
Here's the rack. Take off your guns.
So you're Wyatt Earp. Well, you're a mighty good-looking fella. I can see how Mamie might kind of forget.
Oh, you're a friend of Mamie's, huh?
Yeah, and I'm pretty sore at you. They tell me you're trying to cut me out with Mamie.
Now, George.
You know, I got a good mind to gun you.
Try it.
Okay. Hey, man, you're fast.
I'm Buckler.
Sure. I ain't stupid. Are you any good with your fists, Earp?
Yes, he is. Now, George, you go on in the bar and have your drink. George is one of our hometown boys, Mr. Earp. He's been away from Wichita a couple of years. No use for you to quarrel with the marshal.
Well, Earp's too fast for me to gun him, Uncle Tad. I gotta teach him a lesson somehow. Hey, how about taking off your guns and stepping out and back?
Be glad to.
Oh, George, you never did have good judgment.
What would Mamie think of me if I didn't fight for her? You know, a woman wants a man to be brave, Uncle Tad. Besides, I'm as big as he is, and I weigh more.
Anytime.
My name's Kennerly. They call me Big George. I gotta teach you to stay away from Mamie. But I'd feel better if we shook hands.
No. Come on.
Well, now he's sore. What right has he got to be sore?
You tried to pull a gun on him.
Well, he tried to steal my girl. That ain't any reason for us hating each other. Oh, say, call a doctor, will you, Uncle Tad? Now, no expense to the hotel. I'll pay for checking on him after the fight.
Oh, George. George.
Man, you sure can fight.
Rest yourself a while.
Oh, come on.
Stop it! Stop! Oh, George! Oh, my darling!
Hi, Mamie.
Oh, George, you're all bloody. Oh, you big brute. You just did this because you're jealous of him. George, honey, I love you, and I waited and waited for you to come home.
No, it's all right, Mamie. Well, I gotta get up and fight now.
Oh, no, I won't let you. Let me, I'm gonna give him a good
No,
punch
Mamie, you
myself.
can't do that. You can't do that. He can't hit you back.
Let me punch him.
No, Mamie. All right. I'm licked. I give up.
All right.
Mamie, you shouldn't have said all those things to Earp. I'm the one that started the fight. And boy, he sure did accommodate me.
Who's dead?
Nobody.
Skin your knuckles. Who you been fighting?
Big George Kennerly.
Marshal Earp didn't hurt him much, Doc. He's out there now talking to Mamie Perkins.
Big George, huh? So that young idiot came back to town. He quit riding with Fog McMurray, huh?
Says he did.
Oh. Wyatt, you and I better have a conversation.
About what?
The impending decease of Big George Kennerly. Walk back to the office with me. No, this way. I came in through the bar. I go out through the bar. Superstitious. That's what you get for sparking around Mamie Perkins. Big George may think he quit Fog McMurray's gang, but nobody quits him.
Fog's just a dirty cattle rustler, you know that.
A road agent and a crazy killing fool. Well, you gonna let George get killed?
I don't care what happens to him. He wants to turn rustler, that's his business, not mine. Now, why didn't you and Mr. Murdoch tell me that girl was in love with George? Fine, loyal friends you are. You never said a word.
Well, we was hoping.
Hoping what?
Well, we was hoping that Mamie would fall out of love with George and lead you into the bondage of matrimony. She sure missed the boat on that one. As a matter of fact, I had a $5 bet even that she'd get you roped.
It wasn't ever that close.
Oh, now, Wyatt, it was that close.
Well, it's over now.
Are you going to let Fog McMurray and his boys cut George down?
Now, they won't come into Wichita.
No, that's true. They're just probably laying outside of town, waiting for him. But that's no concern of yours.
No, it isn't. My authority ends at the city limits. Furthermore, I don't care even...
George, just tell me the truth. There's a lot of bad men after him. Oh, Mr. Earp, can't you help him?
Look, I got my house calls to make.
Oh, wait a minute, Doc.
Now, you just shut the door when you're through talking.
Wait a minute!
I know I did wrong, Mr. Earp. I should have explained to you about George.
Yep.
I thought I was over it. I didn't know if he'd ever come back.
Well, Miss Mamie, he sure come back.
In trouble, though. Because he wants nothing more to do with those men. Because he wants to quit his wild and foolish ways and settle down.
He wants to reform, huh?
Oh, yes, he does. If you help him. I know we haven't any right to ask you. First thing George did was pick a fight with you, and when I think of what I did. But I haven't any pride, and I'm scared. Look, George doesn't know I came here, but you're the only one who can help us.
I don't know why I should, do you?
Yes. Because you're you.
That makes a lot of sense. I'll see what I can do.
I'm so glad you didn't really fall in love with me. I'd never have been good enough.
Go ahead and blarney me a little bit. I like it. All right, where's George?
At the hotel, I put arsenic on his face.
Yeah. You ask him to do you a great personal favor. You ask him not to leave the hotel room, not to go out in the street. You understand?
Yes, of course.
I'll try to locate the men he had the row with first thing in the morning. I think I got a plan to get him out of town.
Isn't it just money they want? I mean, if it's
Well,
money...
I won't know until I talk to him. Now, you get him to promise you to stay in that hotel room. It's important.
Well, he'll stay there until we hear from you. And I can't thank you. I haven't the words to try.
Wait a minute.
Howdy, boys. Where can I find Fog McMurray?
Hold it.
Now, drop your guns. Now, where can I find Fog?
He's up at the North Road.
Thank you, gentlemen. McMurray?
Yeah, I'm McMurray.
Good morning.
You're kind of off limits, ain't you, Johnny Law?
My name's Wyatt Earp, and this is a social visit.
Oh, so you're Earp, huh? You're the one Big George had the fight with in town last night. Here you kind of took care of him. Well, he deserved it. Plugged a couple of my boys and pushed me around. Of course, I wasn't wearing a gun at the time. What can we do for you, sir?
Well, I noticed that you got all the roads out of Wichita posted.
We're waiting for Big George to come out.
You really don't like him, huh?
If he does come out, he's apt to be dead.
Isn't there any way that he can settle his beef with you?
No, not at all.
That's too bad. I was hoping to get rid of him.
Well, that's simple. Just chase him out and let him pick his own road.
Oh, well, that's going to be a bit of a problem. You see, Big George tried to gun me last night. And, of course, he's awful slow in the draw, but well, he's liable to try it again.
Oh, so that's what's worrying you, huh?
Yes, sir. You see, well, I haven't ever had to kill a man yet, and, of course, I've wounded quite a few of them, but well, I sure hate the idea of having to kill a man.
I never heard that one before. Here's a Johnny Law that's scared he's gonna have to kill Big George. Well, son,
It don't amount to nothing.
Oh, well, it does in my business, Mr. McMurray. Well, you see, well, I've set a record that the town is mighty proud of, and, well, they expect me to hold to it. And if I was to, well, tangle with Big George in a gunfight, and if he was to die, why, well, there'd be a coroner's hearing and a trial by the city council, and you're determined to keep him bottled up, huh?
More than ever. Looks like you're taking a nasty job off our hands.
Well, not if I can help it, sir. No, sir. I'm going to try and run Big George out.
He runs Big George out, he's going to have to kill him. So just take it easy, boys.
Good morning.
Wyatt, where you been? You had me kind of worried, boy.
You better have a little talk in your room.
Okay. Well, never could beat you playing checkers, Uncle Tad. Hey, listen, see, I checked in my guns and I'm in a real good humor.
Well, Fogg McMurray is not in a good humor.
Oh, shucks, now, you shouldn't have gone to all that trouble for me. Well, that's mighty generous of you. Where'd you find Fogg?
Another thing, Fogg's got men watching for you on every road. He can't be bought off and he can't be talked out of it. The only way for you to get out of town is by train.
Sure made myself a heap of trouble.
Well, maybe I can get you out of this if you do what I tell you.
No, sir, I ain't gonna load myself on you. Fogg will have some boys watching the train depot. Best way for me is to make a dash for it by road. Yeah, tonight.
What about Miss Mamie?
Well, it's always something, ain't there?
You were man enough to leave McMurray's outfit for her. Now, why don't you grow up all the way?
Grow up?
Hey, look, why don't you just use some judgment and common sense for a change? You can't shoot your way through that whole McMurray outfit, and you know it. Even if you did, where would you be? Somewhere out in the trail there where they'd just shoot you down like a dog.
Yeah, I reckon so.
Now, sit down and listen to me. I got an idea that might work.
Why do you do this? I got Mamie back from you. Seems to me
None
like...
of your business why I do anything. Now, you gonna listen to me?
Okay, Wyatt. I'm listening with my big mule ears.
And I'm going to marry George and leave this town. My uncle in Kansas City will give him a job. Was that plan so foolish, Doc?
Well, it ain't too realistic.
Now, why do you say that?
Fogg McMurray's got Big George holed up here in Wichita.
Oh, well, Mr. Earp's going to fix that. He promised he'd talk to that awful man first thing this morning.
Talking and fixing is two different things. You know, maybe, I was just wondering,
No?
couldn't you, by a strong effort of willpower, fall out of love with George?
No, I tried that.
Try again, harder.
Now that he's risked his life to break with those criminals, after he's proved he wants to live a decent and respectable life, Doctor, I'm ashamed of you.
Yes, but Mamie, I made some bets.
Now, I told you.
Come in.
Oh, good news.
Well, it's not bad, Miss Mamie.
Did Mr. McMurray...
George is waiting for you to tell you what we have to do over at the hotel.
Oh, fine. I'll see you later.
Don't lie to me. You ain't settled nothing with Fogg McMurray.
You are right. Now on, it's up to you. Yeah.
What?
George's life is in your hands.
What's the matter with him? Is he sick?
He'll soon be dead. And you're going to have to sign a death certificate and put him in a coffin, and then Mamie is going to take him to Kansas City for the interment. She and the remains are leaving on the afternoon train.
You know, I always suspicioned it. I think you got brain fever.
Can you think of a better scheme to get him out of town?
You mean he's going to pretend to be dead?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Look, see, he's going to come out of the hotel to gun me, and we're going to meet out in front of your office. And I'm going to shoot him with a blank, and well, we'll carry him inside here, and you give him a dose of ether.
No! You hear me? No!
Well, wait a minute. It's the only time I've ever asked you a favor.
When did you ever do me a favor?
Well, this is for Miss Mamie.
You got a crust to ask me to falsify a death report on a certificate like that. No! You hear me? Get out of here. Get out! Get out!
All right. It's going to cost you $850.
What?
Remember that claim you made against the government for that patent medicine I lost in the nation's job?
You got the check? Hand it over.
Oh, I can't. United States Marshal, I got to countersign it first.
Blackmail. It's brigandage. It's illegal.
Well, you know that medicine wasn't worth $850.
You signed the claim.
Then I can unsign the check. So you and I can't be friends anymore.
Good. That's the best news I ever had in my life. Now, wait a minute. Sign the check.
You do your part first.
Oh, you scoundrel.
George, listen to me.
Herb's trying to steal my girl. I'm gonna gun him on sight.
Where's Wyatt Earp? You seen him? Herb's walking back from the jail to Dr. Freak's office. I wouldn't be in a hurry to meet him, cowhand.
I'll blow him down.
Oh, George. George?
Hey, Earp. All right. Make your move. You make yours first.
Go on, get away from him.
This man is dead. What? We'll take care of it.
Move along, go ahead. Break it up.
Let's carry him inside.
Big news, Fogg. Wyatt Earp killed George in a gunfight about 20 minutes ago.
You see him do it?
No, but I talked to a fellow who was there. Earp got him in the stomach. He was dead when they carried him into Doc Fabrique's.
Still sounds too good to be true. Maybe a few of us better ride into Wichita and make sure. You stay here.
You have to get back to work, Uncle Ted. I'll be all right.
Your folks shouldn't let you to go through all this alone, Miss Mamie.
Oh, they'll be here. They're just late. You better hurry along now. And thank you for everything.
Goodbye, George.
I reckon you're the gal that George got himself killed over. We come to pay our respects.
I'm sure you did.
Why don't we take a look, Fogg? Maybe Herb got the wrong man. Yeah, he may not even really be dead. Just step aside, ma'am.
Aren't you satisfied? Haven't you done enough to us already?
Well, now, you just step aside, ma'am, and I'll put a few more slugs in there, and then...
McMurray, put your gun away. Take your men out of town.
All right, son. Congratulations on a good job.
It's all right now, Mamie. Everything's gonna be all right.
Last night's steak was the best I ever had, Wiley.
It'll get better.
I don't know how you do it.
Well, it takes a lot of practice. And a perfect memory.
Didn't anybody ever win from you?
Oh, a couple have tried. A couple have cheated.
I bet they were sorry.
Well, I wouldn't know. You see, they're dead now. But like I was saying, Mr. Brandywine, about a perfect memory. I not only remember every card that's been played, but I know right to the dime how much I took in for the house.
Well, I just counted it. It comes to a little under $870.
You better count it again. Exactly $300 off.
I don't see how I could make a mistake like that.
Oh, it's possible. I wouldn't have brought it up except that it affects my 20% commission. That's an extra $60 for me. If I were you, I'd count it again, boss.
No. I'll take your word for it. Let's see. 20% of 1170 is...
234.
Right. Here you are.
Thank
Morning, Mr. Brandywine.
What do you want, Marshal? I'm not open for business.
Well, I had a few complaints about your faro table, Mr. Brandywine.
Nobody can prove anything.
No, neither can I.
Then you're wasting my time.
Well, ordinarily, I don't pay too much attention to these complaints, but when I heard that Max Wiley was working for you, I figured they made sense. Wichita's a nice town, Max.
That's right, Marshal. Real nice.
If you don't mind, I'd like you to leave it.
Just a minute, Marshal. You can't prove a thing that...
No, Marshal, I think I'll stay here. Like you say, it's a real nice town.
You know, Max, I had to arrest you once in Ellsworth. You served a long term, then I run you out of town, remember?
Mm-hmm, I remember.
I can do the same thing here.
On what ground?
Suspicion of cheating.
How are you going to prove anything?
Look, Max, don't push your luck too far. I'm giving you a chance to leave peaceably.
Earp and Ellsworth, you got me for carrying a gun. I'm unarmed now.
You know, you may be the best dealer on the frontier circuit. But to me, you're just a stinking coward.
You can call me any name you want to, Marshal. But you can't arrest me. And you can't run me out of town.
You cheat. Sometimes you get caught at it. But you ain't got the guts to go without a gun, even against an unarmed man.
Look, Marshal, I'm warning you. I don't...
Max, I do the warning around here. Something else I remember about you, too. You're left-handed, aren't you?
So?
So it figures you should be wearing a gun somewhere near your left hand.
Ow!
I've seen these before. You straighten out the arm and a spring shoves a gun down in your hand. Like I said, Max, you're a coward.
Let go of my arm, you hurt me! Ow!
It looks like you're gonna have to rest your gun hand for a while. Now, look, I don't like the idea of putting you in jail and having to feed you for 60 days. So how'd you like to leave town all of a sudden?
All of a sudden, it's a good idea.
Earp, you'll regret this.
Mr. Brandywine, I've regretted a lot of things, but not this, and neither will the rest of the citizens. Now, I want to tell you something. Don't you hire any more crooked gamblers.
You can't prove a thing.
Mister, I've had enough of you and people like you. That's all I'm going to say. Good morning.
And I've had about enough of it. He's meddling in things he's got no right to, and we're paying for it.
And I could show you my books. Business is a way off since he come in as marshal.
Well, complaining about it don't help. As near as I can see, nothing else does either. We tried to get rid of Earp before, remember? With men and Clements. But it didn't work. The way it looks to me, it's the way he says. Well, we leave Wichita.
Sit down. I got an idea. One that'll work.
You said that before.
And after he got rid of men and Clements, John Wesley Hardin came to town looking for trouble, and Earp fixed him, too.
Here's my idea. You know these frontier towns better than any of us. You probably know every gunslinger there is.
Maybe I do. But offhand, I don't know of one man who'd stand up to Earp.
How about two? Two gunslingers working as a team. Suppose you offer them $1,500 to get Wyatt.
$1,500?
We'd each put up a third. Isn't it worth it to run your place the way you want to? You'll make it back in 2 nights.
It's worth it to me.
You think you can find a couple of men who'd,
Not here. Let me think. It seems to me that Yeah. I know a couple of gunslingers who'd shoot their own brothers for $1,500. And after we get a pair of professionals, only one will be in sight. At least that's the way I do it.
I had something like that in mind. Come here. Collins hires the men, and they work it out any way they want. What do you say?
But suppose it don't work out.
It'll work out. Where do you figure you'll go?
Well, maybe Dodge City. Here, that's a pretty wide-open place. Or Abilene, if I have to. There's always a lot of guns for hire in a place like that. And I'm ready to go right now.
Tomorrow morning will be early enough, eh, Tom?
Yeah, I suppose it's all right.
Good boy. I knew you'd come up with something.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Murdoch.
Wyatt, you're in trouble.
What, again?
I mean it. They're plotting to kill you. If you don't do something about this, you're as good as dead.
Look, Mr. Murdoch, there have been plots against me ever since I came to Wichita. You know that.
I know, Wyatt, but you don't understand.
Now, just relax. Come on, sit down. Got yourself all worked up. It's all part of the job.
Wyatt, this is serious. Believe me.
All right, who is it this time?
Well, Collins is one of them. I suspect Brandywine and Plummer are in on it, too. They've always been pretty thick. They've got the same grievances.
Well, they do. If you mean crooked gambling by grievances.
Wyatt, you've been in any number of dangerous situations since you've been here.
Mr. Murdoch, I appreciate your concern. I'm grateful. Now, what's it all about?
This is a letter from an acquaintance of mine in Dodge City. A man I helped once when he was in trouble.
Hmm? Who is he?
I'd rather not say. He's not a good man, but he trusts me. That's why he wrote me this letter.
All right, I won't ask you again.
Well, Collins is in Dodge City. He's been trying to hire some gunmen. He's gone as high as $1,500.
That's a lot of money.
He hasn't been able to hire anybody yet. The job is too dangerous. You can guess what it is.
Well, I'm complimented.
You know it's only a matter of time before he finds someone. He's looking for a team. 2 men, not 1. Wyatt, you've got to do something.
All right, Mr. Murdoch, let's assume for the moment that your informant is telling the truth. Now, what am I going to do about it?
Hire some extra deputies, bodyguards. The city will pay for it. I'll see to that.
What kind of a marshal goes around hiring a bodyguard?
Look, you're going to let your pride get in the way of your common sense?
Pride's got nothing to do with it. It's a matter of my own effectiveness. Now, how effective would I be as a marshal of Wichita if I hired somebody to guard me night and day?
That's not the point. The problem is to keep you alive so you can still function here.
Oh, you're wrong, Mr. Murdoch. If I did something like that, I couldn't function at all. If there's any bodyguarding to do, I'll do it. It's my job. I'm supposed to be the bodyguard of Wichita. I like the job, I like the city, and I like the people in it. Most of them.
Sometimes I'm sorry I ever asked you to come to Wichita.
No, I'm not sorry.
I don't know what more I can say, Wyatt. Except if there's anything I can do, I'll do it.
Well, you've already done a lot just by warning me, and I appreciate it. But as far as anything else is concerned, stay out of it. You know, Wichita needs you and your fine newspaper a lot more than it needs me.
I doubt that very much. Wyatt, maybe you can think of something better than the bodyguard idea, huh? Maybe?
Maybe. Thanks again.
Come on, we haven't got all day.
That's it.
Afternoon, gents.
There's a law here that says
Whiskey.
you... Oh, sure. Say, boys, if you want to stay out of
2
trouble...
glasses.
All right. Would you boys mind taking a look at that sign over there?
That the same sign that's on the outskirts of town?
Yeah, that's right. It says you're not allowed to carry fire.
We can read.
Listen, we don't want any trouble in this place. The boss and the law don't get along too well as it is, and we...
Where is he?
Who, the boss?
Yeah.
I'll get him.
Where are they?
That's them over there.
Bring them in the office.
He says, would you mind seeing him in the office?
We don't mind. What do we owe you?
Nothing. It's on the house.
Step right in, gentlemen.
After you.
My name's Brandywine, James Brandywine. Sit down, gentlemen. What'll I call you?
It doesn't matter. We won't be here long enough for it to make any difference.
Well, now, what can I do for you?
The way I understand it, we can do something for you, friend.
That may be so. Excuse me for being so careful, but you understand, I want to be sure I'm talking to the right man.
You are. We met your friend Collins in Abilene. He hired us.
Oh, excuse me, just a minute. Collie? Collie!
Yes, sir.
Go next door and tell Tom Plummer I want to see him right away.
Yes, sir.
Plummer's one of my associates also. Oh, by the way, did Collins come with you?
Nope.
Why not?
How do I know? You're asking a lot of questions. Now, look, we came here to do a job for $1,500. Let's either get on with it or forget it.
Oh, gentlemen, please. It's just that, well, I don't want anything to go wrong.
Don't get nervous. Nothing is going to go wrong.
Yes?
It's me, Tom Plummer.
Oh, yes, Tom. Come in. Tom, shake hands with these two gentlemen. They're the men we've been expecting.
Howdy. How about this marshal? Where is he?
Oh, he's probably in his office. He generally is at this time of day. Tell me, do you have some sort of plan?
Yeah. The first part of it. To collect half of the money.
Well,
I told you we'd probably be taking a long ride for nothing.
Wait a minute. We didn't come for nothing like he says. We came to do a job. You don't want us to do it, you pay us anyway. For our trouble. Now cough up with $750.
All right. All right. But we still want you to do the...
Wait a minute.
This...
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. There you are, $750.
All right. Let's get to work.
Do you have some sort of a plan? If not...
Sure we have. I'm gonna walk out in the street and wait for him. You stay by that big front window, and when he gets close enough, let him have it.
All right. Unless one of you've got a better idea.
Well, that's good. That's real simple. We could have done that ourselves.
You still can. Which of you wants to meet him in the street?
I see what you mean.
Well, I think I'll go back to my place.
Marshal, there's a gunslinger outside, waiting right in the middle of the street.
What's he waiting for?
For you. He's dressed all in black and he's wearing 2 white-handled guns.
Guess I better go see what's on his mind, huh?
Shoot. Go ahead and shoot.
Shut up.
What's going on out there? They're laughing.
Let's go outside and see.
Virgil, you old son of a gun, honey. You look wonderful. How have you been?
Fine, Wyatt. How about yourself?
Hey, where did you get that outfit?
Well, it wasn't easy, Wyatt. Believe me. How about you? Where'd you get that small cannon?
Well, that's my buntline special. It's kind of awkward looking, isn't it? It's very effective for long-range shooting. Funny story of how I got it. I'll tell you about it later. Hey, Morgan inside?
He ought to be out any second.
Hi, Wyatt.
Hey, Morgan. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
What's the matter, Mr. Brandywine? You look sick. But you're going to get a lot of rest. You'll be in jail a long time.
On what charge?
Attempted murder? Oh, but before you go, I'd like you to meet Morgan and Virgil Earp, two of my brothers.
No.
That's right. Well, they're new in town, Mr. Brandywine, so would you mind showing my brother where the jail is? Hey, Virgil, is anybody else in on this besides Brandywine and Collins?
There's a fellow named Plummer, saloon keeper. Said he was going back to his place.
I figured he was in on it.
Wyatt, has this fellow Collins showed up with anybody yet?
No, not yet. We'll be waiting for him when he does.
Hope it doesn't take too long. Morgan and I got work to do back in Dodge.
Yeah, I know. Come on, let's go see Mr. Plummer.
Who is it?
Collins, open the door.
This here is Mr. Collins.
Mr. Collins?
No need for you to know what my friend's name is. I checked in as Luke McGuire. He's not registered.
Yes, I know. You're very careful.
Where do we find this fellow, Earp?
He patrols Douglas Avenue most of the night.
You pay us now?
No, my friend has the money. You'll get half first and the balance after.
How do we collect after?
Well, my partner will hand you the money through a back window.
Where's the back window?
I'll show you. Meet me on the corner across from Rowdy Cates in 5 minutes.
This is it.
Brandywine. Brandywine.
Brandywine. Yeah? It's me. Who's me? Collins. And I've got our two friends with me. You have, huh? Good. Don't anybody move.
You heard the man. Don't move.
Well, what's this all about? You'll find out in jail, Collins. I'll try to fix it up so you have a cell with your two friends, Plummer and Brandywine. No, wait. Go on, move. Morgan. Oh, yeah, here's the other one. Name's George Chance, alias George Wilson, alias... Well, anyway, he's wanted in Kansas City for armed robbery, McLennan County, Texas for a stage holdup, and Amarillo, Texas for the same thing. Well, it says here he's a very desperate character and will undoubtedly resist arrest.
Better send a correction on that, Wyatt. They didn't cause us any trouble at all.
It was that black outfit of yours. It'd scare anybody.
Oh, you think so? Say, Wyatt, what about this $750? What do you think we ought to do with it?
Well, that's up to you, boys. As far as I'm concerned, you earned it.
We wouldn't feel right keeping that kind of money, Wyatt. We'll take out our expenses. You can have the rest.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, maybe you could do some good with it. Must be somebody around here who has a need for something. What are you laughing about?
I was just thinking. The school needs a couple of new classrooms.
Fine. That's a good cause if I've ever heard of one.
You know, I can just see Brandywine's face when he finds out what happened to his money. Oh, thanks. Yeah, this ought to cover your expenses. Look, how do you go about thanking somebody for saving your life?
You don't. That's what brothers are for, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess so. I hope I can return you the favor someday.
I hope you don't have to.
Come on, Morgan. We better get on our way. So long, Wyatt.
So long, Virgil. Thanks a lot for coming.
Don't drop your line.
I always should do that. Goodbye, Morgan.
Goodbye, Wyatt. Keep yourself out of trouble, will you?
No, I'll try. Of course, in my job, that's not too easy. Have a good ride.
We'll try to.
You'll hear from us.
Give my love home.
Wyatt Earp had to repeatedly contend with in taming the wild and lawless cowtown of Wichita was mob rule, when otherwise respectable citizens, and some not so respectable, tried to take the law into their own hands.
Where's that coffee, Tex?
Come on up.
Morning, Shorty.
Howdy do.
How's things at the Rainbow Ranch? Some coffee?
No thanks. Well, we're losing cattle now and then.
You're not the only one. Every ranch of the 100 miles of Wichita has been losing cows lately.
Including us.
Well, maybe the rustling's over with now, after what I just seen.
What'd you see?
I seen Bill Slocum in a gully out between the Salt Flats and Miller Creek.
Well, that's our range.
He had a fire going and a cow roped on the ground.
Whose cow? One of his?
No, Duke. One of yours.
What?
Yeah. I seen the brand plain on her hide.
Maybe Bill Slocum's been doing all this rustling all along, Duke.
Sure looks like it. Using a running iron, I reckon.
Now, I didn't exactly see him use the running iron. It might be that he had that cow tied up for some other reason.
Sure. Why else would he have a fire going unless to heat up an iron to change a brand?
Yeah. Why else?
You know, we ought to make a call on Bill Slocum. Teach him the error of his ways, Duke.
Sit down, Shorty.
No thanks, Duke. I gotta go back to Rainbow. So long, fellas.
Thanks for the information,
So long.
Shorty. Now we get that river bottom land that Bill Slocum claims is his for nothing.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's a good thing we got Shorty for a witness.
Sure is. No one would believe it if one of my riders claimed he saw Bill rustling. Tex, you better get the boys. We're going to a party.
Where do I pick up Bill? At his ranch?
No, he'll be at the cattlemen's meeting this afternoon in Wichita. We'll take him in hand there.
You think that's a good idea? Wyatt Earp might cause us some trouble.
This happened out of town. It isn't any of Earp's business. And if he's as smart as people claim he is, he'll be looking in the other direction when we pick up Bill.
You're the boss.
Is the meeting over? Hi, Moss. Bill?
What?
Mr. Delaney, how'd the meeting end up?
Oh, like all meetings, a lot of talk, no action. Me, I'm a man who wants a little action.
Like what?
Well, I'd rather not say. But one thing I do know, if I lose many more cattle to the rustlers, I'm going into bankruptcy.
Maybe you ought to hire a couple of range detectives yourself.
There you are, Moss.
No, I can do my own detecting. If I catch anyone following my herds around, I'll string them up to the tallest tree in Kansas.
That wouldn't be very wise, Mr. Delaney.
You got a better idea?
Yeah, you catch anybody rustling, you ought to turn them over to the proper authorities and let them give them a fair trial.
Fair trial? Why, the courts would let a man like that go scot-free 9 times out of 10.
Well, if he's innocent, naturally. You forget that all of us are innocent until proven guilty. I'll see you.
Yeah. Well, it's plain to see he's got no cows to lose. Earp or no Earp, if I catch me a rustler, I'm going to see just how far his neck will stretch. Well, so long, Bill. Say hello to the wife and the young'uns.
All right.
Going somewheres, Bill?
Going into that saloon if it's any of your business, which it ain't. Says he's going in for a drink, Duke.
You haven't got time for that drink, Bill. There's your horse. Get on it.
What's the idea of pulling a gun on me? Get on your horse like Duke says.
Put him on his horse.
Where are we taking him, Duke?
The Cottonwood Grove at Cowskin Camp.
Quiet. Duke Wilson and his boys just buffaloed Bill Slocum. They're taking him out of town. I heard Duke say something about the Cottonwood Grove at Cowskin Camp. Looks like they planned to lynch Bill.
You all set, Tex?
All set, Duke.
Shorty Beckett saw it all, so we have proof, if we need it.
No use my telling you you got the wrong man. You know who's been doing the rustling around here.
Much obliged for the river bottom land, Bill. After you slip the noose over his head, I'll hit the horse.
Get the rope off that horse and turn it loose.
You're sticking your nose into something that's none of your business, Wyatt.
Well, I figure lynching's every man's business, Duke.
Your authority don't extend beyond the town limits of Wichita.
You must be mistaken. Seems to me I got quite a lot of authority right here in my hand. You can't kidnap a man on our main street and bring him out here to hang him, or did somebody forget to tell you that? All right, Tex, cut him loose. I said cut him loose!
That's for past favors.
Man's a proven rustler, you know that.
Yeah, who proved it?
Shorty Beckett saw him using a running iron on one of my cows this morning.
Why, you...
Take it easy, Bill. That's hard in the knuckles. Go on, climb on your horse. We'll start back to town.
Well, I guess we know now how you feel about rustlers, Mr. Wyatt Earp.
Look, proof of a man's guilt is only decided by a court of law. If you get any charges to bring against Mr. Slocum, you do it in the proper manner. And we'll have a trial by judge and jury. They'll decide whether your charges are true or not. That's the way civilized people do it, Duke, just in case you're interested.
haven't heard the last of this.
What are you gonna do about it, Duke?
Tex, you hightail back to the ranch with the boys and get your guns. Meet me at Allen's Corner about an hour before sundown.
All right.
Heard about things like lynching parties, but that was too close. Wyatt, ever had anything like that happen to you?
No. Never won a noose yet, but I think there are a lot of boys around Wichita that got some hemp all picked out for me.
Mighty awful feeling. You can't do anything about it. You can't reason with anybody. You can't convince them.
Well, I tell you, Bill, half the trouble of being a marshal is trying to protect men from lynch mobs.
If it hadn't been for you, I'd be dead right now. Sure. And what would they have done to those guys if they had lynched me?
Well, they'd have been arrested, tried.
Sure, and I'd have been dead. And the law would have just pointed their finger at them and said, you're bad, bad boys. Isn't that right?
No, you're wrong. They'd have been found guilty. Now, come on, get hold of yourself. Try to think of something else.
All right. All right, what do I do now?
You stay here in jail under my custody. Till I can prove your case one way or the other.
Stay here in jail. You just got through telling me that one of your biggest troubles is keeping away lynch mobs. If you keep me in there, they're bound to try and get me.
Now, look, cool off and try and forget about it. You're going to stay here.
Getting out of here. Now, look, if I'm going to die, I'm not going to do it like a sitting duck. I'm going to take someone with me. Wyatt, you saved my life. I don't want it to be you. Now, get out of my way.
I didn't think you'd fall for anything like that. You know, that gun isn't loaded.
I know that trick, and I know it's loaded.
Well, if I were you, I'd break it open and make sure.
I know that trick, too, and I know it's loaded.
Are you sure, Mr. Slocum?
Don't make me pull the trigger, Wyatt.
You know, I keep that gun unloaded because it's a good test on prisoners. I've had a couple of them pull the trigger on me.
You're bluffing. I'm sorry, Wyatt. I could have killed you. I'm sorry.
No, I don't think you wanted to really pull that trigger.
No, I guess it didn't. What, doesn't that prove to you I'm innocent?
No, it just proves you're not a murderer. It's a long road from rustling cattle to shooting a man in cold blood.
But I am innocent.
Then you ought to be willing to stand trial. The lynch mob, they don't go by the law and they don't go by evidence, but the judge and jury will.
How do I know?
Settle it in court, Bill. Otherwise, you're going to have that thing hanging over your head the rest of your life, and I can't keep you in protective custody forever.
All right, put me on trial.
Good. I'll make the arrangements with Judge Jewett.
What? Sure want to thank you.
Come on, I'll put you in. So.
Well, thanks, boys. I'll tell the marshal.
Where?
Duke Wilson and his men are in the joints around Keno Corner talking up a mob to come after Bill Slocum.
I had the scheduled time pretty well. That's why I'm eating supper now. I didn't think I'd have time for it later.
He's got a lot of half-drunk troublemakers ready to follow him.
Drunks usually make up the major portion of any mob.
You might need the townspeople to back you up. Shall I ring the triangle, Wyatt?
No, don't ring the triangle. I think the best way to handle a lynch mob like this is for me and my deputies to try and reason with them. If I had a mob backing me up, too, it's liable to bring on the fight they're all spoiling for. Cause wholesale slaughter on both sides. Come on. Here they come.
That's far enough.
digging your own grave, Wyatt. We want Bill Slocum. Now get out of our way or we'll mow you down.
Duke, you take one more step toward me and I'll kill you.
Go on, Duke. Don't let that Tim Horn bluff you.
If any of you think I'm bluffing, just take one step forward. I got 5 slugs in here and 2 barrels loaded with buckshot to spray both sides of the street. Between them, I don't think I can miss more than half of you. Well, Mr. Delaney, I'm surprised to see you with this irresponsible bunch. Most of them half drunk, all of them just itching to string somebody up. They don't care who or what the reason is. Yeah. I guess the opinion I once had of you being a fair man was all wrong.
Well, I've been losing a lot of cows lately, Wyatt. And I sure feel any man that's a rustler should be strung up to the highest tree in all of Kansas.
Well, I'm not saying a rustler shouldn't be punished, Mr. Delaney. But why don't you let the law decide what punishment should fit the crime? Let them carry it out.
Law? With a rigged jury, I reckon.
The jury will be made up of cowmen. Now, who'd be better qualified to decide whether a man's a rustler or not than men like yourself?
Then you figure to give Bill a trial? Not let him go loose like Duke here claims?
Bill's going to trial tomorrow afternoon at 1 o'clock. The charge of rustling. Judge Jewett tells me he's planning on having you as foreman of the jury.
Well, maybe he's right. Maybe that's the right way to do it.
Oh, no, he's just trying to grease you up, Jeff.
You lied to me when you said Wyatt figured to let Bill go free.
Yeah, what makes you think he won't?
Because one thing about Wyatt, he don't lie. If he says Bill Slocum's going on trial, and with me, foreman of the jury, well, then that's so. Come on, break it up. What are you hanging around here for? Come on.
Hold it! All you men are carrying guns in violation of a city ordinance. Before you start back to your saloons, you walk ahead of me to Judge Jewett's office and pay your fines. Guns are not to be worn within the city limits of Wichita. In the future, I advise you all to remember that. It'll save you a lot of money. Now get walking. Go on, move! Well, good evening, Bill. I had your dinner, huh?
Yeah, I didn't eat very much. I lost my appetite.
I got word out to your wife. Told her you'd be staying in town tonight on business. Didn't want her to worry about you.
Much obliged. Oh, and thanks, too, Wyatt, for stopping that gang of drunks from pulling me out of here.
Oh, forget it. Now, you're going to stand trial at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I think you're innocent, Bill. But thinking's not enough. I got to have proof. Otherwise, that jury just might see fit to bring in a verdict of guilty. You know what that means?
I thought a man had to be proven guilty, not innocent.
Well, that's the usual way. But everyone's a little touchy about losing cattle. They're just liable to let the circumstantial evidence carry enough weight to prove your guilt. You better give me some idea where I can locate most of your herd, and I'll take a ride out there first thing in the morning and have a look-see. Maybe we can figure out something.
Morning, mister.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Grimmick.
What are you doing up so early?
Well, I came to get my horse, but my key doesn't work.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I changed the lock. I'm going to have to give you a new key.
Well, I'm glad you finally told me about it.
Well, you want your horse, huh?
Yeah, I'm going to take a little ride in the country.
Well, this is kind of a funny day to be taking a ride. I heard there's going to be a big time over in town today. What with Bill Slocum standing trial and all.
Yeah, well, I'll be back in plenty of time for that.
Court's in session. Quiet in the courtroom. We have the case against Bill Slocum, accused of rustling. Stand up, Bill. How do you plead, guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty, of course.
You don't need that "the course" in there. Simmer down, Paul. Bill wants to emphasize the fact that he thinks he's innocent. Let him. I don't see the counsel for the defense. Any of you gents know where Wyatt Earp is?
What's Wyatt Earp got to do with the trial, Judge?
He's going to act as defense counsel.
Ain't that a little irregular, Judge?
Well, it would be ordinarily, but Wyatt asked me if he could. I said yes, which makes it regular.
Well, I guess it don't matter much, seeing as how we got enough evidence to hang Bill anyway. Only hope Wyatt ain't as fast with his tongue as he is with his guns.
Now, let's get on with the case. Wyatt'll show up at any time. Bill, you better step over here at the stand and give us your side of the story.
Raise your right hand, place your left hand on the Bible. You swear to tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Stand.
And you'll never get a cowman to believe that you had that fire burning for any reason but to heat up a running iron.
Like I said, I roped that cow before dawn. I had to wait for it to get light.
What were you doing putting your rope on a Duke cow? She ain't your property.
While I was waiting for it to get light enough to see that Duke brand plane, I started the fire to fix my breakfast.
Why were you so curious about the brand on a Duke cow? To see if you could blot it out some way?
I've been losing a lot of stock lately, both cows and calves, and I thought that cow was mine. I was certain of it.
Excuse me, Your Honor.
In my courtroom, Wyatt?
Oh, nothing will go wrong, I assure you, Your Honor.
Proceed.
Are you trying to say that you think Duke Wilson's been stealing your cows?
I am, and I was trying to prove it.
It ain't bad enough that you rustle from a man, but you got to turn around and accuse him of doing it to you.
I'd like to say a few words to all of you.
I object, Judge. I got the floor here, and I intend to keep it.
Let Wyatt speak his piece. He's gone out and gotten some evidence. Maybe it'll settle this case.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Murdoch, would you give me a hand?
Glad to.
Now, one of the things you cowmen should have taken into consideration before taking for granted that Mr. Slocum here was the rustler was the almost impossible task for Bill to change a brand like Duke, which has got 4 letters in it, into his own brand, the bar D, which has only got 1 letter with a small bar running through it. Now, if for no other reason, I figured Bill was innocent because of this. But now take a look how easy it is to change Bill's bar D brand into the Duke brand, simply by blotting out the small bar that runs through the D on the branding iron and adding the 3 letters U-K-E. Now, if you excuse me, I have a witness I'd like to bring in. Now, whose cow would you say this was?
Well, that's one of Bill Slocum's cows. Got his brand, Bar D.
All right, we know it's Bill's cow. Now, Mr. Delaney, it's pretty easy, isn't it, to tell which calf belongs to which cow?
Easiest thing in the world. The calf ain't hers, the cow won't have nothing to do with it.
All right, now, if this cow had a calf, what brand would be on the calf?
Ooh, the same brand as the cow, of course.
The Bar D brand, in other words.
Yeah?
Well, now, what if the calf had a different brand than the Bar D?
Well, that'd be rustling, plain and simple.
And, Mr. Delaney, how would you identify the rustler?
The rustlers be them that's got their brand on the calf.
Thank you. Mr. Grimmick?
Well, look at that. It's Duke what's the rustler. It ain't Bill Slocum.
You two stay there.
Let us have them 2, Wyatt. We'll give them what they figure to give to Bill Slocum. Only we'll give it to 'em proper.
Order. That's a fine way for a jury to behave.
Your Honor, I'll put these 2 men under arrest.
Good. And I'm dismissing the case against Bill Slocum.
I'd like to say a few more words, if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Wyatt.
Now, you men got to get it through your thick skulls that the days of lynching are over on this frontier. If you continue ignoring the law, you can bet your bottom dollar we'll never get out of the woods at all. Ollie, I want to take him to jail. We got a nice cell and 2 bunks waiting for him.
Court is adjourned.
saying thanks doesn't sound like much, but thanks a lot. Gotta be getting on my way. My family will start worrying. See you soon, Wyatt.
See you, Bill.
Go on, baby. Go on. You did a fine job, Wyatt. You saved Bill's life.
Well, I'll tell you, Mr. Murdoch, you gotta kind of give credit where credit's due. Had quite a bit of help from that calf and its mother.